What is going on, YouTube people? New York Cards and Comics here. This hobby, sports card world, never really ceases to amaze me. Um, you know, to each their own how you want to spend your money on individual things. Who am I to sit here in my basement behind my medium fancy microphone and tell someone else what they should and should not spend their money on? Or what's a good value or what's a bad value, or, all that nonsense. But with that being said, what in the hell are we doing? This is via Slab Stocks, and I had noticed this too. This is something that I was poking around on. I was kind of waiting for some sales to end and whatnot. For those that aren't aware, 2023 Bowman Chrome, they are doing a little something called RetroFractors. And if you were wondering what the hell that is exactly, welcome to the club. Essentially, it is a first Bowman of players that have never had a first Bowman before, yet some of these players have been in Bowman before, just back in the day before they had first Bowman as a thing. So they went back and made RetroFractor first Bowman for these players. Babe Ruth is one, Roberto Clemente is one. I think I saw Johnny Bench floating around. They're numbered. This one in particular is out of 25. So, shiny card, artificially numbered to 25. Raw sells for $2,100. You could get an SGC 148 Leaf Ruth for the same price. Maybe it's the ultimate Babe Ruth collector and they have all this other stuff and they're like, hey, I got everything else Babe Ruth. I need this out of 25. If that's the case, go with the gods. More power to you. Feel free. Do your thing. I get it. There is plenty of stuff that I have bought that people would look at me and go, you paid how much for a Star Wars auto? How much for a Marvel card? How much for a comic book encased in plastic that you can't even read? Make it make sense. I get it. We all buy some stuff that other people would look at and be like, what in the living hell are you doing with your life? So, if that's why they bought it, like I said, more power to them. Let's look at this from a value perspective, I guess, shall we say. Do we think RetroFractors are going to hold value in the long term? Personally, this feels like a massive gimmick, in my opinion. Curious for your thoughts and comments down below, but that's where I am at on this one. This feels like a gimmick. They said they're never doing it again. This is the only time that they're doing it, and they are never doing it again. We'll see. We have to take them at their word on that. I know in the upcoming Bowman draft set, they are doing the Tom Brady first Bowman thing from the Montreal Expos, but I think once they do a player, they're not doing them again. So I think we'll see these in the future, but you won't see repeats of the same players. Is it gimmicky? Absolutely. Does it add some juice to the product? Apparently it does. If you PC that player or you collect that player, would you want one? Sure, maybe. Who am I to say? I just don't know. This just feels, I guess, a little aggressive for me personally. But, I don't collect any of these players, so what do I know? I guess I'm almost, kind of feeling everyone out on this one. Like, what do you guys and girls think about this? Is this a bunch of nonsense, or is this, is there something I am missing here? Is there anyone that would if I said, I'm going to give you one of these two cards for free, they're valued the same, which one would you rather have? The orange RetroFractor out of 25 from 2023 Bowman, or the 48 Leaf in an SGC one? Which one are you taking? Please let me know in the comments down below. Which one of those two cards are you taking? Is there anyone that would take the Chrome? And if you would take the Chrome, I am curious as to why. What is your thought process there? And I'm not, not making fun. I'm genuinely curious. If someone would rather have the Bowman Chrome, like, what's the idea behind that? Is it just the scarcity factor that it's numbered out of 25 versus the Leaf, which I didn't look at pop reports, but I'm sure there's actually probably a decent amount of those cards out there in the wild. If you want to find that card, you could probably find it. There's probably way more than 25 of them out there, even in low grade. But like I said, maybe I am the madman here. Maybe I am the one that has lost my marbles by wanting to take the SGC one. And like I said, no hate if you want the 2023 Bowman Chrome. We are all grown adults here. We can all do whatever the hell we want with our money. And we're all buying and selling for different reasons. It is a pet peeve of mine to see, oh my God, how come someone bought this or that? So here I am making the video, kind of doing the same thing. But like I said, maybe it's the ultimate Babe Ruth collector and they have a bunch of other Babe Ruth stuff and they need this to add to the pile of loot that they have. If that's the case, like I said, I completely get it. Completely get it. I've seen people overpay for crazier things because it fits into their collection a certain way, and it is a limited number of these available. So, like I said, I can see that aspect of it. I'm going to use the dirty word here. You ready? From a investing standpoint, I know the investing in sports cards thing gets tossed around sometimes and people don't like that word, but I feel like an SGC1 Babe Ruth 48 Leaf is something that would actually fall into the legitimate, I want to park money in a collectible type thing. That would probably be one of the ones that would legitimately make a list of, oh, okay, I see what you're doing here. Old school vintage baseball, Babe Ruth, one of the most iconic athletes of all time ever in anything, full stop. So I think you got to justify it a little bit more there. Like I said, I don't want to throw around that evil sports card investing term. The internet will get mad at you, but this one actually feels semi. You can argue this one, in my opinion. At least I can. So air quote investing $2,000 into the 48 Leaf versus investing $2,000 into the first Bowman. I don't know. This was just a weird one for me. Like, I could see this card having value for sure. I just don't know that $2,000 is the number for me. And like I said, maybe there's something I'm missing here. So I know I looked at another one and this has not actually ended yet. And this one's at least an autograph, so I'll give it that. This is the Johnny Bench orange out of 25 first Bowman. Like I said, it is an on-card auto. This has, as of time of recording, has 2 days left on it, and it's at $730. So I don't know what this ends up getting to. For comparison's sake, I was just kind of curious. You could get a SGC 8 1968 tops for a little over, now this was back in July, vintage doesn't sell very often, for a little over $1,000. A PSA 8 goes for a little under $2,000. So let's just call it 1.5K. Maybe you could find one for. Now, we don't actually know what this is going to end at, but you could probably get maybe an SGC 7 or a PSA 7 for probably closer to $1,000. Like I said, at least this one's autoed, but without having done a ton of research, I have to imagine a Johnny Bench auto is probably not hard to find. In fact, let's do some real-time research here and just quickly look. I should have did this ahead of time, but I didn't, so that's my fault. Johnny Bench auto. There are 743 results. So there are plenty of them out here. Here's the first Bowman going for $1,000. Let's look at some sold listings for some random bench autos here. Let's find something a little nicer here, shall we? Okay, here's a nice Topps Transcendent. This is a Amethyst out of 10, numbered out of 10. Nice clean auto there. $80. And that's numbered out of 10. Nice gold frame Transcendent, very, very high-end set. But apparently, you put that on there, and we are going to the moon, baby. That's all it takes. That little logo right there drives so much. And like, I actually get it when you're talking about a modern player coming up. It's their first card. That makes sense to me. This is not Johnny Bench's first card. Sometimes the modern nonsense just goes one step too far for me. And listen, I'm a sucker for some of this stuff too. I fall into the same traps for some disco swirly balls on occasion. My weakness is color match. I'm a sucker for a color match. I'm not bashful about it. I get it. I will pay a premium for a nice color match if it looks good with the card. That's my thing. That is my modern thing that has its claws in the mane. This one, I don't get. First Bowman on a, Juan Soto card when he was first in Bowman for the first time legitimately in 2016, I understand. Putting a first logo on a Johnny Bench card, giving it a, as of right now, basically a $650 premium over a gold out of 10 Johnny Bench auto. You lost me on this one, folks. You lost me. Help me out. Help make it make sense in the comments down below. We will catch you boys and girls on the next one. Peace.